channel. Hello guys, welcome back and thank you for staying with us on this channel, Final Whistle, the channel that keeps you fresh and updated concerning sports related stories, from fans reaction to pre and post match analysis, and of course in the match analysis. Don't forget we are on social media platforms: on Facebook Final Whistle 931, on Twitter now as X Final Whistle 931, on TikTok Final Whistle 931, on Instagram Final Whistle, and of course our YouTube page Final Whistle 931, where we give you the full version of our stories. Don't just watch our videos, we want you to like, share and drop your comment in the comment section. I know you are subscribed to the channel Final Whistle, as Final Whistle is your short plug in bringing you sport-like related stories. Believe me, it's about sport entirely. We are going to talk about it. And turn on your notification icon to get notified whenever we drop another production that might interest you. Yesterday, we saw that the apex governing body of football, FIFA, came together to organize a program of their own, and in which we have to learn some new details. And I say that, let me bring it to the notice that our viewers that we have the hosting nations for the biggest collective award in football as it stands, the World Cup. They have done the bid. As confirmed, 2026 is going to be between the North American countries, Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America. 2026, in as much as Nigeria were in a precarious situation to qualify, we are still optimistic, we are still hopeful that with the new coach coming in, with the form of the players, will make it up to that big stage. Because believe me, Canada is a lovely country to be in, Mexico is a lovely country, and the United States of America, of course, our players will want to enjoy that experience, having gone last edition of the World Cup without us qualifying. Believe me, this is not a tournament we want to miss, because we have always believed and talked about our players playing in the biggest stage of football. If you want to be recognized globally, this is a platform you need to come and represent yourself. And yes, for the second time ever, an African country will be part of the hosting country of the World Cup. The last time we saw an African country host the World Cup was in 2010, from June 11 to July 2010. And as you can see displayed on your screen now, that was Mandela holding the trophy when it came to South Africa. Believe me, South Africa gave us one of the best tournament you can ever hope for in a World Cup edition from the Golazo. I can remember the first opening goal of the tournament, Shabalala, with that magical, lovely goal from outside the 18 with his inside left foot. We are expecting that since he's going to be coming to Africa again, we are going to be entertained. So it's a lovely one, and there is no news, like I said, that the North American countries will be hosting this year's tournament, the next 2026 World Cup, which is Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America, and we are hoping we'll qualify on that note. Yes, 2030 is going to be hosted by Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. Yes, Morocco, the African country. We're going to be seeing the big stars in the African continent for a very long time. I must say 2010, that's 14 years ago, we last saw an African country in the World Cup stages, hosting the tournament, having a say in terms of participation, in terms of showing them our facilities, showcasing our talent. And believe me, this is a lovely one by Morocco. In as much as it is not in Nigeria, it is Morocco. Morocco is an African country, and they are good ambassadors of football. Like I said, I just want the best for African football, and this is why I said to bring to you notice that yes, Morocco has put out in a good way. They have become a good ambassador of African football, unlike what Libya did to us, that put us on the world map in the news for one of the wrong reasons. We are in the news for one of the best reasons, as Morocco will be part of the hosting country 2030 World Cup. That's after this next year's edition, after this next edition, 2026 edition, we are going to be in the process. That's the Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. And 2034 will be going to Saudi Arabia. I've always said that the reason why Saudi Arabia are trying to develop their league, with the likes of Karim Benzema coming into the picture, with the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo coming into the picture, is as a fact that they want to bid for the World Cup, and they have gotten their bid. They are going to be the solely country hosting the 2034 World Cup, after Morocco, Portugal, and Espanyol hosts the 2030's own. 2034 is a long time. In your own understand, that is 10 years from now. We are all aware that the World Cup is for 4 years. In as much as Corona tried to alter the whole process, we are back to the calculations of 4 years. So after 2026, we're going to be 2030 in the African continent space, then 2034, which will be hosted by Saudi Arabia. Believe me, as displayed on the screen, you see lovely stadiums that Saudi have already put in place in order to host this lovely competition. You can see lovely stadiums from King Salman International Stadium, King Fahad Sports Center. Believe me, they have lovely stadium. They have about 18 stadium ready to take on the World Cup in 2034. Wow, what a project. This is what I've been saying, that Nigeria, we need to do better. You see, a country that is trying to host 2034 World Cup 10 years from now has already put down facilities in place. And it's not just put down the facility, it's maintaining the facilities by what? by signing players to play in the league so that the stadiums can get busy, so that the fans can be associated with football, the fans can love football before that time, so that they can come out in numbers and support them. That is a project worth doing. Nigerians, we need to do far better, and we have never even hosted the AFCON before. Talking of the World Cup, I'm optimistic. I'm one of those strong believers that believe that Nigeria will be great no matter what. I still believe in the oneness of the country. I still believe that we'll go far, and it's just a matter of time. With the youngest coming up, it's something we can do to improve what we have already, because if I say these old men don't know what they do, they give us some kind of things, but we know say yes, we'll get it right eventually. So quickly, before I go, let me quickly remind you of the headlines again. Yes, for the first time in 14 years, the last time we ever did it, the first and ever time we ever did was 2010 in South Africa, where I would say that was one of the best editions of the World Cup. Shabalala go, all of you, I remember that goal now. I remember that goal. We are 2010. Wow, what a performance. What a World Cup. One of the most peaceful World Cup. We had controversies all around, from the ball, Jabulani, who doesn't know that ball. And believe me, World Cup is a stage for you to come and prove yourself, to make names. I've seen notable players make massive move in the World Cup here because of performances. Before you know, you play 8-9 matches leading to the finals, and you become stars. You become recognized by individual awards, by clubs, by club targets, that you can get a lot of big transfer market. So since 2010, that will last, that African as a continent last hosted the World Cup solely in South Africa. It is going to be coming home again in 2030, and it's going to be between Morocco, Spain, and Portugal. Well, I said this is a nice news that the World Cup is coming to Africa again. And is there anything we can do in terms of just not participation? Is it a time for an African country to do well in this competition and win it? We might never say never, because I know say our Super Eagles by that time, 2030, man, we don't get names where we say yes, can take on football at the international stage. And finally, before I go, 2034 to host the World Cup in 2034. They have already presented their stadiums as displaying on screen now, that yes, they have what it takes in terms of stadiums, in terms of capacity, in terms of hotels. Now 2034, they have won the bid, and they will do magic numbers. And that is all for me. I remember your humble host, Official. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Final Whistle 931. On Twitter, now known as X, Final Whistle 931. On TikTok, Final Whistle 931. On Instagram, Final Whistle, and of course our YouTube page, Final Whistle 931. We'll give you the full version of our stories. Don't just watch our videos. Want you to like, share, and drop your comment in the comment section. Don't forget, we have series of production coming your way every week, as we have Chelsea Corner with Official. I'll be your host on that production to bring you magical things, team talks, player ratings concerning Chelsea. We have Nigeria Corner with Charles. Charles is the guy that comes on the production to give you details concerning how Nigeria players are playing in their various club side, and tactical crossfire with AY Baba. AY Baba is the genius behind the manager's thinking. This guy is good with the 4-4-2s, with the 4-3-3, with the 5-4-1s, and the rest concerning how managerial tactics are done. And that is all from me. I remain your humble host, Official. See you guys.